Hi, I'm Liz Miles and I'm President of the RACGP, and I wanted to talk to you today about the electronic transfer of prescriptions. The electronic transfer of prescriptions is part of the e-health reform process and is designed to reduce transcription errors and improve patient safety. If your practice is already signed up with ERX or Medisecure and you notice when you print off a prescription that there's a barcode on the bottom, this means that you're already participating in the electronic transfer of prescriptions. Every time you print off a prescription with that barcode, a copy of it is sent to the prescription exchange service. When your patient takes the prescription to the pharmacist, if the pharmacist has also signed up with ERX or Medisecure, then they will scan the barcode and a copy of the prescription will be downloaded for them. This means that they no longer actually have to manually transcribe any of the information from the prescription, and of course that will reduce transcription error. It's probably also a more efficient process for the patient and hopefully will be a bit faster for them as well. If the pharmacist is not signed up, then they will just dispense as they have always done in the past according to the paper prescription that's presented to them. For general practice, it's essentially business as usual. This initiative doesn't add any time to your consultation and it certainly doesn't increase the amount of paperwork that you have to fill in. As a result, it's very easy, and I would really encourage all GPs to consider signing up for the electronic transfer of prescriptions.
Hello Nathan, thank you for coming in to talk to me today about electronic transfer of prescriptions, known as ETP. I'm pretty comfortable with electronic prescribing and have the software to print off prescriptions and hand a hard copy to a patient, which they then present to a pharmacy. Is that what ETP is, essentially?
Electronic transfer of prescription, or ETP, is essentially a process whereby we can capture the information that you've created in the process of generating a script electronically and transfer that information securely to the pharmacist via a prescription exchange service. So at the point that you generate the prescription, a barcode will appear on the script, and when the patient takes that script to the pharmacist can scan the barcode and retrieve the information from the prescription exchange service. This means that the information that you've created through your practice is exactly the same as the information that will appear at the pharmacy end. So the process essentially eliminates human transcription error, which means that we have improved safety, clinical safety in the prescribing process, and that leads to improved healthcare outcomes.
And in fact, it seems that there's not going to be that much of a change to my workflow or my day-to-day operations from the sounds of things.
Okay, so Magda, look, the only real change is that there's an initial installation process. So once you've chosen a preferred ETP vendor and the software is installed and it's capable of interacting with a Medicare electronic certificate, from your perspective, there's really no change. When you print a prescription, a barcode will appear on the bottom, so that's the visible evidence that ETP is happening. Other than that, nothing much changes.
So it seems that I have been already using ETP in that when I print a prescription, it has a barcode.
Yeah, well, and that's a common scenario. The ETP software has been out in the marketplace now for about 2 to 3 years. So a lot of practices have already gone through the process of installing one of the preferred products, and the barcodes have been appearing on the scripts. In many instances, doctors actually paid no attention to it because they may have assumed it was part of a national program. But in fact, someone in the practice made a decision to install the ETP software.
Should I have any concerns about privacy using ETP?
Privacy in healthcare is paramount. I think we all understand that. So this process is leveraging the Medicare digital certificate. So at the point that the prescription is generated, the electronic message is encrypted, and it can only be decrypted by the pharmacist who has the paper prescription in front of them. So the data can't be used for any other purposes other than for the purpose of generating a prescription.
Are there any different legal requirements that we need to be observant of?
So the legal ability to create a prescription is governed by state and territory legislation, and from that perspective, the only legal prescription is a hard copy script that you've signed. So nothing changes from that perspective. What we're doing is capturing information electronically, thereby eliminating the transcription issues. Otherwise, really nothing's changing.
With respect to Schedule 8 and Schedule 11 drugs, will it change my workflow and will it have a different legal obligation?
So there'll be no change in the requirements. What we're doing is capturing information electronically, but you'll still be required to meet the same requirements as per today.
Authority scripts, do they still need to be authorised over the phone?
There'll be no change. If an authority needs to be authorised over the phone, the same process will continue to apply.
Will it change the current practice around issuing repeat prescriptions for patients?
So the process for issuing repeats remains essentially unchanged, and from the pharmacy perspective, the patient will still be issued with a hard copy of those repeats. So look, I think what we've really discussed today is that from a practical perspective or a workflow perspective, there's really very little change at the practice end. Once the system is installed and it operates, it really should operate relatively seamlessly. You'll continue to interact with your clinical software system and the data will flow electronically. Hopefully over time, as the system matures, we'll start to see some innovative features being developed, the capability to undertake electronic reconciliations of prescriptions and dispensed medications, and that will eventually lead to improvements in the system in terms of quality and safety. It will lead to long-term benefits, and those system designs are currently well advanced. So we'll start to see those changes being implemented over the next few years.
Thanks, Nathan. It seems like it's an exciting new phase in medicine.
Absolutely.
Terrific.